A specter is haunting Europe, more punishing than many European leaders possibly imagined when they imposed several rounds of sanctions on Russia. Now the continent finds itself on the rack. Rising energy bills and soaring inflation have contributed to a cost of living crisis that's rapidly tightening the noose on Europeans, with their leaders kicking at the stool. Here's what you need to know about Europe's energy crunch in a nutshell. So Europe became increasingly dependent on Russian energy after the COVID pandemic hit. In 2021, Russia accounted for 27% of Europe's oil and 40% of its gas. As the war broke out in Ukraine, the EU and UK reduced their imports of oil and gas from Russia, sending energy prices soaring. For the UK, the problem stems from a domino effect. Britain doesn't import much gas and oil directly from Russia, but a drop in global supply has led to price hikes in the UK as well. The whopping 80% increase in electricity and gas bills announced recently will likely plunge half of the already hard-pressed UK population into fuel poverty, and the pressure is piling. The current 10.1% inflation rate, the highest rate in the G7, is also expected to increase in the weeks to come. The crisis has sparked a massive wave of industrial action across the UK. Tens of thousands of rail staff, postal workers, and criminal lawyers have launched strikes over pay and working conditions. Workers in hospitals and schools are now threatening to walk off the job in the coming weeks, and more people are pledging not to pay their energy bills from October under the campaign Don't Pay UK. Add to that the uncertainty over the future number 10 occupant and policies, and the UK seems to be heading from a summer of discontent to a fall of mass unrest. Italians are no better off. Skyrocketing food and energy prices on the one hand, and political instability following the resignation of Prime Minister Mario Draghi on the other, have stirred fear and disquiet. Sanctions against Russia, Italy's largest gas supplier, have raised gas and electricity prices to historic highs. Gas prices have recently climbed above 320 euros per megawatt hour. That's 3 times the price at the beginning of July and about 900% higher than the same period a year ago. The resulting inflation upsurge has put tremendous strain on consumers and raised the risk of bankruptcy for many businesses. Europe's economic powerhouse, Germany, is also reeling. It has plunged into its worst energy crisis in decades. With winter temperatures regularly dropping well below freezing in the country, German prospects are grim. The Nord Stream 1 pipeline carrying gas from Russia to Germany is operating at just 1/5 of its capacity. Gas imports from Russia were down from 55% in 2021 to 26% in June 2022. Consequently, power prices have gone through the roof and an unbridled inflation has taken hold. The benchmark electricity price now tops 700 euros per megawatt hour. That's almost 15 times the seasonal average over the past 5 years. The year-ahead contract for electricity has reached 995 euros. Germany's energy woes are exacerbated by the ongoing heat wave and drought. Plummeting water levels on the Rhine River are causing a headache for German power plants that rely on deliveries of oil and gasoline by ship. And by halting the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, an extension of the original Nord Stream pipeline, Germany has arguably set itself up for a graver crisis. Paris will likely head into an even colder and darker winter than Berlin. Russia's Gazprom has cut supplies to a French customer over a contractual dispute. And while nuclear power is the largest source of electricity in France, the shutdown of several nuclear reactors due to corrosion has severely curtailed electricity generation in the country. Once Europe's top power exporter, Paris might now have to ration electricity to meet its own needs. The slump in nuclear availability has pushed up power prices above 1,000 euros per megawatt hour for the first time. Concerns grew further when President Emmanuel Macron warned of a bleak future for France, adding that an era of instability defined by the end of abundance lies ahead. Russian President Vladimir Putin had warned of catastrophic consequences as Western powers impose sanctions on Moscow. And now, Europeans are beginning to count the cost. Well, that's a wrap for this episode. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.